Crop production for or field practices. Field practices are operations carried out in the field to facilitate proper growth and optimum yield of various crops. Crop rotation. It's the growth of different types of crops of different families on the same piece of land in an orderly sequence. It's a field practice used by farmers to maintain soil fertility. In this lesson, you're going to learn the importance of crop rotation. Importance of crop rotation. Maximum utilization of nutrients, control of soil-borne pests and diseases build-up, control weeds, improvement of soil fertility, improvement of soil structure, control of soil erosion, maximum utilization of nutrients, for example, alternating deep-rooted plants with shallow. Deep-rooted plants ensures nutrients from different layers are utilized. Factors influencing crop rotation. Factors considered when designing a crop rotation program include weed control, alternate crops that do not share weeds, also those that are easily weeded to be alternated with those that is difficult to weed, alternate deep-rooted crops with shallow-rooted crops, cotton deep-rooted, groundnuts shallow-rooted. Crops of the same family that share pests and diseases should not follow one another in a rotation program. Alternate maize or graminea with beans or legume. Importance of mulching in crop production. Smothers weeds and reduce speed of runoff. The following are the advantages and disadvantages of mulching. The advantages: maintain soil moisture, reduces evaporation rate, control of soil erosion, suppress weed growth, improves soil structure and water holding capacity, and improves soil fertility. Disadvantages: acts as breeding ground for pests, prevents light showers from getting to the soil. It's a fire risk, for example, dry grass. It is expensive to acquire, transport, and apply. Pruning. Pruning involves the removal of the unwanted parts of a plant. The following are the reasons for pruning: to train up the plant so that it can have the desired shape, to remove the diseased, non-productive and unwanted parts of a plant, control of cropping. This removes extra vegetative or unproductive parts in order to maintain correct ratio to ensure uniform bearing in all season or year. To facilitate picking. For example, tea and coffee are pruned to maintain a low plucking table and bearing head. To ease the penetration of the spray and to control pests and diseases. Humid, bushy and dark parts encourage some pests and diseases, for example, Antestia bug and coffee berry disease in coffee. Methods of pruning: pinching out, coppicing or pollarding, and annual pruning. Pruning tools. Below are the tools used in pruning different crops. Pruning saw is used to cut hard branches and stems in coffee and citrus. Pruning knife is used for cutting or pruning tree by use of strokes. Pruning shears are used for trimming hedges. Scatiers are used for cutting soft branches in coffee and citrus. Pruning in tea and coffee. Tree crop branches are cut at specific points for various reasons. Cut surfaces should be protected by paint or Stockholm tar to seal wound. Coffee pruning. Pruning helps to regulate the quality and quantity of coffee berries. Coffee is pruned for the following reasons: to regulate bearing, to remove old and unproductive branches, to make harvesting easy by regulating the heights of trees, to open up the bush and allow better air circulation. This removes microclimate suitable for pest and disease-causing organisms. To open pruning facilities for penetration of sprays and economical use of chemicals. Single stem pruning or SSP. Systems of coffee pruning include the following. Single stem pruning. It involves establishing one permanent stem with a strong framework of primary branches. The main stem is capped out at various heights as the bush grows. The best sucker is allowed to continue growing upwards at each capping. The cappings encourage the development of strong primary branches. First capping is done at 53 centimeters, second at 114 centimeters, and the final at 168 centimeters. The height of single stem bushes ranges between 1.5 centimeters and 1.8 centimeters. In young trees, the initial crops are borne on the primary branches. However, as the bush matures, the main crop is borne on secondary and tertiary branches. Annual pruning in single stem pruning. Annual pruning involves the removal of suckers, dead and damaged branches, those touching the ground, and any other undesirable growth habits. For example, growing inwards, downwards, crossing or touching each other. It is done after harvesting. Advantages of single stem pruning. Allows easy picking and spraying, and it minimizes breakage of branches. Disadvantages of single stem pruning. Requires skilled labor to establish, takes time to bring bushes into bearing, and required shade trees to avoid scorching the top branches and fruits. Multiple stem pruning aims at establishing 2 or 3 main upright stems with laterals to bear the crop. There are 2 types: capped multiple and non-capped multiple system. Capped multiple system, established by capping the main stem at 38 centimeters and allowing 2 to 3 selected shoots to grow to a height of between 1.5 meters and 1.8 meters, after which the bushes are managed in the same manner as in single stem system. Non-capped multiple system, established by capping the main stem at 38 centimeters above the ground and then allowing suckers to grow. 2 or 3 of the suckers are selected and allowed to grow. The crop is borne on the laterals, which are pruned from the base upwards after bearing at least 2 crops. A bearing head of 0.9 to 1.5 meters is left on each stem. Any crossing, dry, or broken laterals are removed. As the stem grows tall, it bends outwards due to the weight of the crop. When old, that is after 4 to 6 years, the stems can be removed. This is called changing the cycle. Annual pruning in multiple stem pruning. Laterals that have borne two crops are removed. Also removed are those that are too close, dry or broken, or any other undesirable characteristics. Done after 4 to 6 years. Sucker removal is stopped 18 months before cutting down. 3 suitable evenly spaced suckers are selected. Inward pointing laterals should cut higher towards the end of the cycle. This allows light penetration and encourages the development of healthy suckers. Advantages of non-capped multiple stem system. Requires less skill to establish, easy to prune, and does not allow accumulation of CBD due to removal of old stems. Disadvantages of non-capped multiple stem system. Breaking of stems and branches, difficulty in gathering the berries from top points, difficulty of spraying the tall bushes, and rotting of stumps with age. Pegging can be done in the following ways: use of hooked pegs, use of rings and pegs, use of parallel sticks or phytos and pegs. Each branch is held down by a single peg measuring 50 centimeters long. A lot of pegs are required. Use individual hooked pegs. Use of rings and pegs. Using parallel sticks or maintenance of a plucking table. Done to prevent a rise in height of a plucking table. Done by cutting back the tea bush to 5 centimeters above the last pruning height after 2 to 5 years. Crop production for or field practices. Field